Gordon was born June 23, 1910. His father, Bryant Hinckley, already had 6 children when his first wife, Christine, died. Later, Bryant married Ada Bittner. Gordon was the first of 5 born to them. Bryant and Ada were both educators and taught their children to love learning and to seek wisdom out of the best books. Their home had several distinguishing features, among them a large room set aside as a library. The walls were lined with shelves containing more than 1,000 books. In that room, the words and ideas of philosophers and poets, Dickens, Frost, Shakespeare, and others, mingled freely with the words of the prophets.
I have friends in overalls whose friendship I would not swap for the favor of the kings of the world. Do you know who said that? That was Thomas A. Edison. He's an inventor.
One day, Gordon and some friends were playing on the front porch of his home when an African-American family walked down the street. Gordon made some kind of disparaging remark to them. He did not know if they heard him.
Gordon Hinckley, get in here!
But it was certain his mother heard him. He was in for a lecture. She told him in no uncertain terms that among the peoples of the earth there is neither inferiority nor superiority, that we are all sons and daughters of God, and that we have an obligation to respect and help one another, for that is the way Jesus would act. Gordon carried that simple lesson with him the rest of his life. Gordon was just a boy when he received his patriarchal blessing. It told of the work he would do as a man.
Thou wilt become a mighty and valiant leader in Zion. The nations of the earth shall hear thy voice and be brought to a knowledge of the truth by the wonderful testimony which thou shalt bear.
When I was 12 years of age, I was ordained a deacon, and my father was then in the stake presidency, and priesthood meeting was held on a weeknight. I was sort of a reluctant conscript, and I went, and I sat on the back row. And the opening song was Praise to the Man Who Communed with Jehovah. All of the men stood to sing. The hall was filled with men, and they lifted their voices in unison in that great hymn, Praise to the Man Who Communed with Jehovah. Jesus anointed that prophet and seer. Blessed to open the last dispensation, kings shall extol him, and nations revere. It touched my heart. It gave me a feeling that was difficult to describe. I'd never had it previously in terms of any church experience. There came into my heart a conviction that the man of whom they sang was really a prophet of God.
They had known each other since childhood. They began socializing at ward activities. Although Gordon described himself as shy and awkward, Marjorie Pay considered him the life of the party. Some of those years were difficult indeed. In November of 1930, after a long battle with cancer, Ada Bittner Hinckley passed away. Gordon had never felt such emptiness.
Do not then stand idly waiting for some greater work to do. Fortune is a lazy goddess. She will never come to you. Go and toil in any...
In the lonely days that followed, he would often recall the words which his mother so loved.
If I can stop one heart from breaking, if I can ease one life the aching, or help one fainting robin unto its nest again, I shall not have lived in vain.
Go back home to your mom where you belong.
Brothers and sisters,
He longed for success in his missionary labors, but so few of the people he encountered were interested in his message.
I became discouraged. I wrote a letter to my father and said, I'm wasting my time and your money. I don't see any point in my staying here. And in due time, a letter came back from him in which he simply said, Dear Gordon, I have your letter of such and such a date. I have only one suggestion. Forget yourself and go to work. With love, your father. That statement prompted me to get on my knees and make a covenant with the Lord that I would try to forget myself and go to work. Everything good that's happened to me since then, I can trace back to the decision I made at that time. I count that as the day of decision in my life.
It's now here from Elder Gordon B. Hinckley, who is to stay this day assistant to the 12.
Humbly I seek the blessing of the Lord. I am overwhelmed with a sense of inadequacy. I have been wondering about the road that led here. I know that I have not come that road alone.
When President Howard W. Hunter passed away in 1995, President Hinckley's destiny became clear. A lifetime of learning and service brought him at long last to a season of opportunity. Gordon Bittner Hinckley was set apart on March 12, 1995, as the 15th president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with Thomas S. Monson as first counselor and James E. Faust as second counselor. They would serve together for more than a dozen years.
I am fully aware that I am not a young man as I shoulder the responsibilities of this sacred office. But I think I can honestly say that I do not feel old. I cannot repudiate my birth certificate, but I can still experience a great, almost youthful exuberance in my enthusiasm for this precious work of the Almighty. Time has come for us to stand a little taller, to lift our eyes and stretch our minds to a greater comprehension. This is a season to be strong. Something, my brethren and sisters, is happening in this church, something wonderful. As we walk in the small world of our individual wards and branches, we are scarcely aware of it. And yet it is real and it is tremendous. Before I married her, she had been the girl of my dreams, to use the words of a song then popular. She was my dear companion for more than 2/3 of a century, my equal before the Lord, really my superior. And now in my old age, she has again become the girl of my dreams.
Gordon B. Hinckley was a man for all seasons. The qualities he developed over the course of nearly a century enabled him to endure in faith even the loss of his dearest companion.
Jesus is my friend. He is my Savior and my Redeemer. He is my God and my King, from everlasting to everlasting. He will reign and rule as King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Because Gordon B. Hinckley spent his life trying to be like Jesus, God was truly able to make a giant among men.